This week, we actually have two lessons that we are going to be working on. They aren't due until Monday, June 28th. The first one is lesson 6, and that is the CSS box model and positioning. So you've got some pages in your book that you need to read through. And the focus of this is kind of envisioning the different areas of your page as a virtual box. and the box has content, and then between the content and the edge of the box, you have padding. The actual edge itself can be enhanced with a border. And then outside the border, you can have a margin. And when you're calculating the width of your element, you need to take in account the content, the padding, the border, and the margin. So in the lecture demo, there's a graphic that illustrates that concept. There's interactive links so you can go and practice. And then once you are familiar with the concept of a virtual box, we get into aligning these boxes and repositioning the boxes. So you will learn about the different ways to position them. Okay. And this actually is super important information because it's the building blocks for laying out your page. So you'll learn kind of a traditional box model method using float, and then you'll learn one of the responsive designs called Flexbox. And so you'll learn traditional and Flexbox this week. In upcoming weeks, I will introduce additional responsive designs. So Flexbox is one of them, but in upcoming weeks, you will be learning more. The textbook assignment, as usual, gives you directed exercises with videos. And you can see that you have files that you need to download and CSS, and then you're going to be modifying those files. Okay, and you'll be basically modifying that farm file to use the traditional box and the flex box, and song snippet, you'll be doing something similar. The lab assignment, you guys get to pick your own content, and you will be creating your own traditional box, and you will also be creating a flex box. And if you want to use the same content for both, you can, because the difference is the CSS. So, your HTML does not have to change. So I have a traditional box example. This is something that we actually used in November of 2019. And so this is a traditional box. And one way you can kind of test these little boxes is to kind of resize your page. And this is kind of normal for what a traditional box would do. I've also got a link to the CSS. But what makes it a traditional box is the fact that we have float left. Okay, and then we're assigning some widths to the different boxes. You can take that exact same content and create a flex box. So obviously your link has to change because you're going to be linking in a different CSS file. Okay. And for Flexbox, you want to remove the float CSS and add display flex to the container or the parent. And then for the child elements, the ones that are actually going to adjust in size, you put flex colon 1. So here is that page. And you can see already that it looks different than traditional. Okay, because with the flex box, you typically give it, a maximum and a minimum width, but then it'll decide how to display them based on the size of your page. So you can see if I start changing my page size around, those boxes adjust. Okay, so it is perfectly fine to take the same content and just link in the two different CSS files. So here's my Flexbox CSS. And so what you should see in here is display flex and flex 1. You'll also see widths. Typically, I have either a maximum or a minimum. Here, I did not specify a maximum width. I only did minimums. And that is part of the reason this box is so large. If you don't like that, if you want to do a maximum and a minimum, that's fine. Totally up to you because you are designing your own page. Does not have to be exactly like mine. Okay, so that is the assignment. Okay, and then you want to make sure you update all of those links in your assignment page.